want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brent.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Need to find some Kaporan glasses like this or something.
It is very Kaporan. Alrighty then. Shall we begin?
Hi.
As the group got finished discussing their goals, Nori wanted to get a scarf to cover her necklace, and the other women obliged, going with her along to also get some items. As the boys were enjoying the honeymoon suite in their own maniacal ways, they discovered a trap door beneath the bed, which they had to investigate. After some investigating, they went down to the front desk and tried relaying to the Duragar woman what they found. And in his haste, Kaporin cast Major Image to show what happened. Well, didn't go over very well at first, and the guard was summoned. And they arrived just as the other half of the group also showed up back at the inn. It was finally discussed between everyone and physically shown to the guards what they had found when everything finally calmed down, at least hostility-wise. The entire inn was searched as items had gone missing, including Kaporin's maritime book, as well as 150 platinum from Bryn. Also, two bodies were also found deceased. When Nori asked permission for magic use to try and find Kaporin's book, she sensed it for a moment before it disappeared, and people in the group took off after, with some guards in hot pursuit. Without being able to fully pin down where or how it disappeared from Nori's spell, they went back to the inn and prepared themselves for the other half of the day. You know, the one they had actually been planning for. They went to Balar, who immediately sussed out that they were the ones at the center of the morning kerfuffle, but nevertheless took them down the discs, some to see Ame, and the others to meet Thrazak. Here, Bryn and Richaw got to meet Thrazak, and his magnificence, and while discussing what they were there for, they handed over the diamonds, in which Thrazak took one, popped it, and a liquid came out, in which he immediately consumed. This took the two by surprise, but not as much as the next one, where Barnabas Elrith himself appeared from nowhere and introduced himself to Thrazak.
Hello.
Now I just want to do the whole hello there. So now that is Barnabas's catchphrase.
And Richard's writing it down.
It's wonderful that you are finally able to finish with the task that I put in front of you. Sorry for this minor inconvenience, Thrazak. I'm just dealing with my friends here. He just waves at Barnabas as he goes to pop the second diamond and drink from it. I had hoped you'd gotten to this a little quicker, but your timing is impeccable. Since the war is now over, I can feast my eyes on other opportunities, as he kind of looks over to Thrazak. It is my utmost pleasure and gratitude for you meeting such people, as he kind of absentmindedly gestures towards you two. And I humble myself in front of such magnificence. And he does a very ornate bow. Thrazak, leaning back in his chair, a much deeper voice than when you first talked to him. Slightly echoey as he speaks. Oh, that's easily noticeable. No, I'd have to say it actually took me quite some time before I put things together, but nevertheless wanted to show my gratitude. It's fine. Beats me having to fix this up myself. Any more? Barnabas smiles and reaches into his back pocket and pulls out 4 more diamonds. Very pure. I love it. Well,
You're welcome.
exactly. Wanted to make sure that nothing but the best for you. He Thrazak starts to pop 2 and drink them. And as he does so, he knocks on the table 3 times, and everyone else in the tavern gets up and walks out. Barnabas, as he's standing there, waiting for a chair to open up.
I'll get up.
I believe that is all, Bryn.
Alright, well, she's gonna just nod and look at Richard and I guess head out.
Richard will wave.
And Barnabas starts discussing with Thrazak. As you guys
I,
reach,
I was implying that Richard was still sitting there and it just waved Bryn goodbye, like he didn't actually get asked to leave.
oh, if you didn't get asked to leave, then you get catapulted out the door behind her.
Oh man.
So it's your choice whether or not you wanted to get up.
Well, I feel like he would have just assumed like he said that'll be all Bryn, and so he was like, okay, then bye Bryn. Like, and then God sent him. I guess so. I guess he's going catapulting out.
Bryn, as you're walking away with no Richa, you all of a sudden feel a very feathery in your back. And kind of clung to your back is Richa, just looking over your shoulder.
Hello. Or and his new one. Oh, hello there.
Exactly. Bryn and Richa, as you guys exit the premises, you don't see Belar, but you do see the 12 or so individuals that are all evacuated the interior. Kind of looking around, one of the ones that was at the front when you originally came in points further down the street, and you see Belar just chilling on a corner. A small chair, just eating an apple. He kind of like mid bite looks over and sees you guys. And interestingly enough, as you guys walk over, you just see him go and eat the rest of the apple. He was already about halfway done.
Were we able to catch any words coming out of the
No.
out of the no? Okay. All right, then I guess we'll just start. I'll start heading towards them.
Belar kind of gets up and dusts his pants off a little bit.
Richard would sort of be hanging around the 12 people that were jettisoned as well, and just sort of like thumbs back and like, what's the deal with those guys?
They weren't quite jettisoned like you were.
I know, but
They don't respond to you whatsoever. Most of them aren't even talking.
Bryn is just like ignorance is bliss at this point, and I'm not gonna know.
As you get closer to Belar. So, I don't know the terminology that kids are using nowadays, but, the fuck. As he just points towards all the people standing outside. I saw the first two come out towards me, and I was like, nope, and didn't want to get jumped, so I reiterate, the fuck?
Bryn will shrug. Well, we're done here. If we want to cut out.
Right. Alright then. To dinner. Before... Just dinner. No, this all didn't happen. Okay?
Yep, I'd like to think that very much.
And with that, he starts traveling off with Bryn and tell Richard, you're more than welcome to do whatever you'd like down here.
he's just sort of, he's not like hiding from them or anything, but he's just beginning to mimic the body language of all the 12 people around there. And as they approach, he'll just sort of,
Oh no, they're walking in the
Uh,
opposite direction.
oh, then if they come and get me. But he is just sort of like standing there.
If he's not next to Bryn, she's just gonna turn around and stare at him. Try to intimidate him just to come with them.
Well, as soon as you come and address him, he like points back and is like, "Need anything to bring to dinner?"
Seems
He just shrugs. It's like, I mean, it's an option.
Just invite Barnabas to dinner.
Well, yeah, he's gonna do it in Rashi's voice. I'm looking for, and then he won't actually say it, but he'll finish it right there.
It took me a second to catch on right there.
Took me a second too, but oh my goodness. The weirdest dinner party.
Well, I mean, it's like Rashi's whole story arc. We might as well ask him.
I mean, yeah,
Well-
you have a point.
I don't think they want anybody going in there right now, Richa.
Well, I can wait.
Balor, after waiting for a while, kind of like comes up to you guys, trying to stay as far from the group of ne'er-do-wells as possible, though he associates you guys with him, so he's already failed in that part. But Bryn, are we going?
Seems like Richa would like to wait for a couple of minutes, maybe. See if he could catch somebody who's...
What the fuck are we waiting for?
I mean, it's an option.
I thought you said you're done here.
Thought we were, and she's gonna look at Richa.
Well, do you have another friend down here that I don't know about?
I don't know if
A little.
I don't know if I would call him a friend.
Well, if you want to keep fucking staying here, then he must be a friend.
Like whisper into, he'll like get into break that personal barrier with Balar and just whisper into his ear, Barnabas Elrith.
You see his head snap towards the door. And he just takes off. He goes up, muscles his way past the Durgar that are here, and just kicks in the door. And all you hear
Going in
is,
with him.
"You fucker!"
Oh no.
Please
Oh,
don't
no.
kill Rashi's
I'm,
dad.
I'm going in
Like
with
real
him.
dad.
I was like, oh, well,
No,
we're
don't
doing
kill
this.
him. I like him.
Yeah.
Kill Balar. Please don't kill Balar.
Take it, grab it!
At this point in time, Richa, as you've come in, and Bryn, you're following up, you guys start to hear shing, 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 as weapons are being drawn behind you from the 12 or so individuals. But you see Barnabas and Throzek are standing now, talking to each other, decently close, almost shoulder to shoulder, and it's something in Barnabas's hand. And Bellar's in front, and he's pointing at Barnabas. Barnabas,
I'll be like, quick question.
Barnabas kind of like with an eyebrow raised towards the door. Yes? You fucker! I've got a bone to pick with you. And as he does that, you see him reach into his back area, underneath his shirts, in the back portion of his pants. And you see two metallic cylinders, about a little over a foot long, that he clamps down onto each other and twists them together. You see him pull something out from underneath where like his left sleeve ends, and attaches it to the back end of these two cylinders. And he goes in from behind his back and pulls out this, almost looks like a water skin that stops. It seems it's connected to something, but a little nozzle comes right here, and he pours it in, this black powdery substance, into the end of this metallic cylinder.
Well,
As-
that's a little unnecessary.
And as he does
Bryn's
so,
voice.
he pushes, he caps it and then pushes it forward and holds it in front of him. Barnabas kind of looks interested. You see Throzik's eyes kind of whoop and just takes immediately 2 steps to the side away from Barnabas. So you're fucking Barnabas Elrith, huh? I mean, that's my name, don't wear it out. You, remember this town? A specific someone living in here? Barnabas kind of like head tilts down as if he's like seriously pondering. He's like, do I know anybody in this town? I'm sorry, I can't think. And all of a sudden, boom! Large explosion. Just as Racha and Bryn, you guys feel the blowback and just dust kind of splatter all over you. And the only thing you guys see is a large flash of light and an interesting, almost looks like a dragon's head of fire comes out before it collides with Barnabas and seems to chomp down on him. And then fire just expands out in all directions for a good 25 feet.
What the fuck? Covers his ears from the explosion.
At this point in time, as everyone's sort of recoiling back from that, it seems that Belar is used to this thing and was ready for it and has already reloaded by the time you all realize. And he turns around, and as he does so, he kind of pushes you out of the way, Bryn, and you kind of collide into Racha, just from the weight of this contraption he has in his hand. And he lets loose another shot, and just immediately engulfs all 12 individuals outside. It impacts the first person who, at this point, was starting to get close. And there was no, like, moment for this fire dragon to come out. It just pretty much point blank. We're talking 3 feet, maybe. Lifts this guy up into the air before he explodes in fire. And just fire rains down over everybody. Kind of licking at you guys, because you are pretty close. So you guys are going to take 8 points of fire damage each.
Is it something I can uncanny dodge?
There is no save.
Well, that's evasion. I'm talking about literally just like using my reaction to.
Oh yeah. You can
resistance
you can hide behind Bran. That would be your uncanny dodge.
This seems like it happens a lot. But Bryn is getting people hidden behind.
There's an outline of people behind you. At different heights, too. So you got a Racha size, you got a Nori size, and you got a Kaporan size at the moment. Which is weird, because it's pretty much your entire thing, but he crouches down, so he kind of, like, cuddles in. After the second explosion, it kind of licks Belar a little bit, and so he kind of staggers back and starts to reload, and he turns around, and Throzak's right there. And he catches the cylinder before you can turn it and reload it all the way. And you see Belar's hand's completely black at this moment, and it's about 3 times the size. And the fingers have turned into claws. And he's kind of just holding the cylinder there. And he's looking at Belar. He goes, "This is not the place." Belar is just fucking red in the face from being pissed and also from slight bits of his eyebrow missing. And the singeing of the beard.
Racha with his ears covered is like, I agree.
He kind of just looks past Throzak at Barnabas, who is just kind of like dusting off his suit. I mean, seriously, can't we just have a discussion? There's no need for so senseless violence. Balor kind of Throzak just in his face, calming him down, and his hand slowly resumes back to his regular size and his appearance. Yes. Discussion. Balor lets go of the cylinder and lets Throzak take it from him. And he just stomps his way over to Barnabas. Barnabas kind of checking him as he's coming. And Balor is definitely walking with the whole, I'm about to punch you in the fucking throat right now vibe. And Balor gets to within like 4 feet and just stops himself, and it's just heavy breathing in front. Alright, discussion. Through gritted teeth. Barnabas gestures to one of the chairs at the table. Throzak just sits himself down and just stares at Barnabas, who dusts off the table of the charred debris, dusts off his chair a little bit with his tail, and then sits down. Folds his hands. All right. What's got you so hot and bothered? Balor is speaking in a much lower tone of voice right now, so it's you guys don't pick anything else up. As Throzak is sort of being there in between you two and what's going on at the table.
Cha, in Bryn's voice towards Throzak, would say, Cha wants to wait for somebody.
He kind of just gestures out the door, as if, well, if you want to wait, you can wait outside.
He sort of shrugs because he misunderstood him and he just walks away. He was basically saying, like, I wanted to wait for this to happen, but clearly it wasn't my intention. Is what he was trying to infer, but he just walks out the door then is like, don't end up dead. That was all he'll say but he'll hang out like right there next to the door. He's not going away very far.
Throzak kind of then turns his head towards you, Bryn, and just gestures.
Yeah, so I'll walk out there. I'll apologize for the disruption.
If you don't mind, possibly moving the bodies aside?
Yeah, shall do it. But yeah.
There's about 10 charred bodies out here. You're not sure. Well, you're pretty sure where at least one is. It's a bit everywhere. But one of the bodies else has also disappeared from this situation. Luckily, after the explosion, they all got kind of separated pretty far away off to the side, so it's not too much coordinating. But you make 2 separate little body piles.
So they are like all dead, or does it look like the one that's missing did it look like they like ran away and they're running to get guards, or does it look something else?
Probably the secondary explosion that happened kind of took care of him.
Cool. Yeah, he'll be organizing that, I guess. Well, I guess.
AT-10 fire
but
damage is
keeping an
no
eye.
fucking around.
Right.
So,
Does Bryn just have to like figure out where to put these bodies, or like, is there obvious like put them here?
with Throzak's attitude towards everything, I forgot what I was gonna, like that blasé attitude towards what had happened. You're getting a sense that guards probably aren't coming, and it's more of just a cleanup situation. So, just at least I'll get him in the same spot.
Would we have heard this explosion from the floor we're on?
Nope.
And my second question is, how long have they been gone?
Altogether,
That long.
not long at all. maximum 20 minutes. And that's on the very farther end of the scale. Because they literally went down, walked inside, talked to Throzek, and handed over the diamonds within like 10 minutes of conversation. Not even 10 minutes, like 5 minutes of conversation. And that's what summoned Barnabas.
Okay, I was just if Caporn would have been through a glass of his.
Oh, you would have been through a glass of anything given to you. Let's be fair.
He would have called up on the Caporn phone asking if everything's going all right, but hey, we'll let it play out.
So, after a few moments, and the bodies situated, at least all together in a pile somewhere.
God, I hate asking this. Would there be anything on the bodies to be found?
It's all pretty much simple weapons. These guys aren't high-end lackeys, or else they would have survived. This is more kind of just the lower echelon people. He was trying to make a show of force without actually using too much force. So, yeah, it's all like a couple simple daggers, a short sword here, a rapier there, but nothing of real value at all.
Darn, no 150 platinum anymore.
Oh, no.
Damn. Okay.
Are there people peeking out to see what's up, or is everybody sort of keeping their head down and avoiding this situation?
So you saw a few people as you were walking from the elevator to this area, but after you guys got here, and since you've come out, you have not seen a soul on the streets.
I wish I could say that this surprised me. It definitely doesn't.
So after about 4 or 5 minutes, after the bodies have been situated, you see Barnabas walking with his arm around Balar out of the front door. And seriously, if you ever make your way up to Ixian, please give me a ring. And you see him kind of go, and in his hands is a bronzed coin with an interesting symbol etched on it, from at least where you guys can see because you're not handling it yourselves. But he hands it to Belar. And Belar goes, won't take you up on that.
Is it similar to like the coin that Nori got from her brother, or like what?
I mean, it's similar in the sense that it's a coin, without like being able to handle it and see it yourself. You're not sure. It's like literally going from hand to hand, so it's not like they're holding it up in the moonlight inspecting it. But with that, Barnabas, as they walk down the stairs and get to the solid platform, Barnabas clasps his hands together. Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Rachel just sort of smiled, like, made a contact? With a question mark at the end of that.
Oh, yes. Our business dealings with Rozek shall go on unimpeded and swimmingly, if I'm to say so myself. But, Bella, I believe you have been taken care of. And he kind of just holds the coin tightly in his hand and nods. I thank you too again for finally fulfilling your task. And, well, toodaloo. And with that, a bit of dust kind of spins around his feet. And it extends out, making you all kind of batter yourselves against it. And he's gone by the time you look up again. Alright, let's get going.
Use your words you used to me. The fuck?
It broke the thing off with Ame. That's all I
You
needed.
went in shooting the guy and came out with his arm around you. And he's offering an invite to meet him elsewhere. The fuck?
You know how those Silver Tongue people are?
Rashad just shakes his head no.
I got what I wanted. That's all I need.
Well, that's good.
What'll it cost you?
Nothing. He forgot he even had it on her.
Rashad just sort of like look towards Bryn and shrug and go, 2 + 2, I figured water.
I'm gotta be honest, Richard, I have no idea what the hell you're trying to say.
Okay, at least I'm not the fucking only one.
But I can only do so much.
Let's just go back. Time for dinner.
Yes, it seems like you have some good news to share.
In my own time. Don't want to bring it out right when we get there.
That's good to know.
Don't want to have to explain how I fucking talked to Barnabas and what happened here.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And with that, he just starts walking towards the elevator, which you guys get on and rise back up to the 5th disc. As far as everyone else goes during this time, you all had seen the door open and Rashi had gotten head squeezed as Ame had completely enveloped her as she made her way through the door. And after a very tiny bit of struggling, and then letting her get it out of her system, and then finally separating, she kind of just looks over Rashi and goes, "Oh, friends! This is wonderful."
Yes, I have friends now. And she kind of looks side to side because she's still not used to the idea of having friends. She's like, yes.
Oh yes, dear. I had heard that you had some companions, and we have plenty of seats at the table for them. Introduce yourselves, or Rashi, if you'd like to do the honors.
Kaporn with that would immediately go, Kaporn Ithil at your service, and does a little spin and bow.
Nori just goes, and then she holds out her hand to shake and goes, "Hello, ma'am. It's a pleasure to meet you."
Wonderful, wonderful. Please come in, make yourselves at home. We have quite the feast planned for us. I hope everyone's fine with... Well, I'm sure you'll find something. I've kind of went all out. We've got pastries, we've got meats, we've got pork, we've got... I heard no chicken, correct?
Yes, no chicken.
All right. So we got pork, we got turkey, we've got beef, we've got some fish.
The fish won't last long.
Oh, that's quite all right. We have plenty else in case anyone would like anything.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. What are we going to start with? What drinks is everyone feeling tonight?
Surprise! It's your home. Whatever you provide is most wonderful.
Ooh, wonderful. I haven't been able to play hostess in quite some time since moving down here, so... All right. And she kind of, excitedly, takes a few steps into another room and then stops and turns around and kind of runs back to you, Rashi, and gives you a kiss on the forehead and then runs back.
Rashi's face is, red, Mom!
And
Nori looks over at Rashi and goes, "Your mom is great."
she then comes back with mugs the size of steins. And she comes out with 4 of them, one for everybody. And inside is she hands it over. So here we have a bit of a mixture of a little bit of here and a little bit of there. It is a interesting type of oaky smoked ale that I've been fiddling around with. It comes from the Bloodgood lands, but I have been fermenting it with a little bit of ale that is brought about here, further down, around the 8th disc or so. On their own, they're okay. Together, divine.
Orin would happily reach out and take a glass from her, and take a nice sip from it to start off with.
Interesting ale enough. You're probably the first time, as far as drinks go, for everybody. These are cold. Almost like ice cold. Which is interesting. Especially for down here. Pretty much every drink that you guys have had has been slightly below room temperature, as they keep them in cellars to help with temperature. But this is like, at first, since you're not used to it, so cold it kind of hurts your teeth, and you gotta like kind of warm your mouth up afterwards. But as you get used to it, it becomes more and more refreshing than just shocking. Yes, the whole temperature difference.
Tasty.
It's what happens when the two ales meet each other. There's something in the fermenting process that after a certain amount of time, about 16 hours, it ends up chilling somehow. Not exactly sure of it, but it's delicious.
My dear, this is almost divine.
Exactly, that's what I said.
You must be the goddess of the kitchen, then.
Oh, just of the beer.
Don't let her lie to you. She's a really good cook too. She like fake whispers, like it's loud enough everyone heard it.
Oh, Rashi. Yes, I am.
If this is how your beer tastes, I can only wait for the food.
Nori, dear, you don't babysit the thing. You don't want it getting warm.
Wait. Ooh.
From behind,
She's
Rashi's
already
mom.
done.
Who's done?
Jeez.
Ame is.
Impressive.
Kaporan behind Ami is like cheering on Nori. Drink, drink, drink.
Nori looks at him and raises an eyebrow and has. Sorry, keep going.
Is that
No,
bardic
ha-
inspiration for her?
How does Ame know Nori's name? She didn't give.
Yeah, I never told her my name.
Balar has.
Oh, fine.
Oh, so she process of elimination it.
Well, she's not the super tall one. Female-wise. So, and since the other one's a bird, it's pretty
Okay.
much process of elimination.
Okay, I just
Not
wanted
ours.
to
It's not rock.
just wanted to check that because I was just like, oh, now I'm gonna be suspicious.
No, that's because, Balar, she's, like I said, she was told by Balar that you guys are going to have guests, and he probably gave the rundown, especially when she heard that her little Rashi had friends.
True, and hopefully he didn't tell her that he doesn't really like them.
Maybe.
I mean, she didn't try to kick us or like punch us or beat us up as soon as I walked in the door. So I feel like we're in a better stance than most.
No, she's just trying to get you drunk right away.
That's when
That's
the real
cool.
secrets come out.
By the way, Constitution saving throws, everybody.
Oh, fuck.
I was
Nori
waiting
hasn't
for
drank
that.
hers yet.
Oh, she will put her hand under the lid, under the bottom of the mug, and doot, 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 doot.
Nori has flashbacks to a certain house near fucking Artemir. And just takes the tiniest sip. She doesn't want to have anything. She's just like, no, bad memories.
Also scribbles out onto your clothes.
Do I get like an advantage because I know my mom's trying to get everyone drunk?
Well, this is the
Or-
first time that
or-
she's ever been hosting one of your friends, so you don't know what she's trying to do.
Oh, that's true.
And this, you have not had
Okay,
this.
she's trying to
liquor
get me
before.
drunk.
Yeah, you've never had this. This is
Okay.
this is not so much her trying to get everyone drunk, this liquor is very potent.
Okay.
She
So,
gets,
I
like,
just
every-
wanted to check.
so Nori, since you have a history of not drinking that much,
Just why she's
Constitution's-
protesting.
Constitution saving throw for even having a
No,
sip.
she hasn't drank anything.
You said you took a sip.
I said I took a tiny sip just to appease her. Do I have to make a Constitution saving throw for a small sip?
With your throat, it's for other things than getting drunk.
Damn it!
She's better than I am.
Watch me roll a 1.
Oh, that's Rashi.
Oh, never mind.
So you don't spew the liquid all over the place and do the whole pour half of it on the ground. You're able to
Yeah, no.
and try and like tilt your head over the cup and push it down.
I have no idea what I rolled, but I hope it was good.
You rolled a 19.
You get a 19.
Oh, good. Okay.
So Kaporin, by the time that you finish this drink, not eating anything or drinking anything beforehand, cold, a lot of cold stuff in your stomach right away, doesn't help the situation. But you are feeling quite happy by the end of this first stein.
Are his cheeks red?
No, but the ears are.
I roll for
Okay.
performance.
Roll with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
This is when the game becomes a Bard's Tale featuring Kaporin.
What are you performing?
Porn is now just oh gosh, I need my book. He's like in such a good feeling mood that he's just like did you say this cold is just, it was just a cold drink, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. I mean, it's still alcoholic. All right.
Porn just like out of nowhere felt like a little jaunty, so he had like something like he was working on in the work, so he's singing a song. It's like, fire my lady, fire my own, burn with the passion of my heart. He's just like singing a love song out of nowhere about himself, just like finding love at some point, but
Singing
Yeah,
to
he's
his
like-
stein, okay.
singing it this time as he's calling it a lady because he's drunk.
Yeah, he turns bi when he's drunk. It's fine.
Yeah, that pretty much sticks to everything that's happened so far.
I mean, I was
Whether
gonna
by
say,
choice or not.
like, gay dudes can wear lady clothes too, so you never know.
When Porn's drunk is that when he's more susceptible.
Nora, you see Kaporin starting to go some type of way already. But no stein is getting refilled with more drink. And after just, some casual chit-chat and Kaporin doing his bard thing, you see Ame kind of like check her stein every now and again, kind of looking at it, and then looking at everyone else's drinks that are all empty except for Nori's.
Nope.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you. You're not muted. That's not the issue.
It was her throat. It decided, nope, I'm not going to work today.
Nori has no idea how to explain her situation currently and just is like, thank you. I appreciate everything you've given us. You're a wonderful host. Just like floundering, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't want to drink because it always ends up poorly for me. And my throat hurts.
She's just kind of puts on a big smile and says thank you, and is there anything else she can get anybody or anything like that? Just kind of passing the time.
Rashi gets up and goes and gets herself more alcohol and comes back with 2 pastries.
This is a brand new house to you. You've never
Oh.
been in here. You don't know where anything is kept.
She just randomly walks around to where she saw her mom go.
Okay, you go around the corner to this, looks like a sitting room, and then You're not sure where she went. There is no kitchen attached to anything that you see in this little specific area. There's a staircase at the end of the room. To the left, there. To the right's just the actual wall. To the left, it leads to a hallway that ends up going about 25 feet further down to another staircase. But this is just a sitting room in here. You guys are like in the living room. This is more of like a den-ish sitting room. It's got a nice fireplace to it and a couple bookcases.
I need some more to drink. Where's the kitchen?
Rashi, you need to be a good host. Only until everyone has finished their drink do we get seconds.
I wanted pastries, though.
Oh, we can get pastries. That's not a problem. And she snaps her fingers, and in the living room where you guys are at, a little slide to one of the walls goes up, and on a nice silver-like platter there is what would basically be like fruit claws, a bunch of fruit claws, as well as like a couple croissants, cheese croissants.
She immediately walks over to the fruit claws and grabs two, and comes back and sits down.
Wait, like the wall just slides up or something?
Like a dummy waiter, yes.
That is the shit.
Oh, and Nori, while you were
When
gone.
did you get magic?
It's not magic, dear. It's just mechanics. Nori, while you were gone, she said basically no one else can get a drink until everyone finishes their first. Because she's being a good host.
Yes, and it's very great. That's very sweet of her, and she's a very good host. I'm kind of want Baron to steal mine, so I don't have to deal with it.
You do realize that all the steins are different colors.
How fun.
And yours
Looking
is green.
forward to that. Why?
Caporn's is purple.
Ooh.
Wait, did she leave the room?
No.
Oh, damn. How do I explain this to her? Me, as a human person, knows exactly how I would explain this to her, but Nori has no idea, so...
Rashi,
like, what do
Rashi,
I
yours is
do?
that light blue that your hair color is. But she gestures to the pastries that are in the little dummy waiter for anyone who'd like any. There's probably like a good 30 in here.
Warren easily holds 3 in his hand.
There's 28 now. Now 23.
And he's like taking a bite out of each one, like going like along the fingers, basically. And he's coming over to Ami. I'm just making sure.
Ame.
Ame.
Ame. Okay.
It's Japanese.
Ame gashimasu. And it's like, so Ami, tell us about Rashi's when he was a kid.
No. I was a boring kid, like a boring adult.
It's been so wonderful to travel with.
She was a fine child and didn't give me too much of a hassle, which I appreciate. And, well, most of her time was either getting to know her craft through Balar or dealing with her bully, who I still secretly think he has a crush on.
She scrunches her face. Ew, gross. No.
But nevertheless,
she's a poophead.
she was very studious and didn't give me too much trouble. Every now and then she liked to go out when she wasn't supposed to, but she always
That's not my fault.
she always stayed at least within good reason and never had to worry too much, except for recently when she decides to travel about. I know.
Alar said I had to go travel. I didn't want to leave.
And I appreciate you for taking on the task I offered. Just be safer.
Rashi just looks at the rest at Kaporn and Nori like
Balas told me a little
shrugs.
bit about everything that's going on.
I've been perfectly safe.
Oh, yes! I bet you have.
Horn has immediately gone red in the face, not because of alcohol either. And he is now just scarfing down claws to keep his mouth full.
That's not what we're going to discuss tonight. I'm just happy to have you back and with your friends, so let us enjoy that. Well, some of us will enjoy it. And she just kind of like side looks at Nori.
Just goes like really quietly. I'm sorry. I have bad experiences with drinking. I really do apologize.
My dear, you need to understand that when offered something, you've got to at least finish one. But nevertheless, even if you were to get a bit wild and crazy, there's a bit of learning that comes with it. And though I've heard you guys have many talents, being a strong woman comes with difficulties sometimes. But don't worry, I won't let you get too out of hand.
Nori is suddenly way more worried.
With that, Kaporn's gone over to Nori's, like, lifting up the, like, drink, please. I want another glass. Drink, please.
Take mine. Just really, just mentally to him, she just goes, take mine then.
We can't be rude.
It's
Don't
all,
want to be rude.
it's all right, Kaporin. You can drink hers if you'd like. I'll
Kaporin, like,
get you started on some water, Nori.
I'll just take anything. I doesn't.
Well, obviously not anything. The next best thing we've got is water.
Next to this divine beverage? I don't think so.
Kaporin, you drink.
Nori is grateful for Kaparin's charisma in this situation.
Kaporin, you further drink. Interestingly enough, no extra con save is needed.
Kaporn loves this stuff then.
Water is brought for you, Nori, and drinks are had between Rashi and Kaporin as well, and Ame. You guys get through about 3 drinks, well, Kaporin 4, before the rest show up. This alcohol is made to get you tipsy, but then stops there. It does not have any hangover effect. It has no complete drunkenness effect. It has no slurring or inner ear effects either. So, though you may feel more confident, it does impose disadvantage on some checks because overconfidence can be a problem sometimes. But nevertheless, you guys, you never get further drunk. It always just stops right there.
Kaporn's like noted down what these two were, and all like is asking Ami. It's like, so how long did you let this settle?
Oh,
for?
it's a secret. It's a secret.
He's like, but and he
I'm the
pulls out
only one
bo-
that makes it down here, so of course I'm gonna keep it secret.
Kaporn's like, well, it gives me a reason to come back. Besides bringing Rashi back home later.
Are you gonna sell it?
I have already started selling it.
Good. Get that money.
Yes, 2 of the taverns down on the 9th disc are currently buying it. So, after the drinks and after the time and discussions and stories and playful banter across everything, constantly prodding and poking at Nori to possibly try and drink more, but she's not going to force the issue. Eventually, Bryn, Rachaw, with Balar. Follow him through the front gates into the little front yard area where he stops and he kind of, you can just see him kind of like lean back and just let the stress of all of the past situation kind of just, if you could see physically it happen, almost like water just wash off of him. And he kind of like jauntily walks forward through the front door and he goes, "Honey, I'm home." And immediately you see Ame kind of perk up and with a weird quickness kind of just dips around the chairs and couch and procures another stein out of somewhere. But as she does so, she just throws it into Balar's hands. And before he could take a drink, she just like slurps her way, like as he's going in for the drink motion, she just whoop and pops herself in between his arms. Priorities. And then he kisses her. And then she kind of like steps back and he drinks. They're in the other room.
This Rashi's sense. Like,
Rashi peeking around the corner like, ew. Well,
Yeah,
don't look
exactly.
then. Gosh. Anyway, with her standing there, Balar is drinking his stein and walking forward. And she stands there in the doorway between you guys coming in, and she extends her hand out. Ame.
Bryn will shake it. My name's Bryn. Nice to meet you.
She nods and extends her hand to you, Richa. Oh, it's a bit violent. Have another word to use?
Don't mind him. You can call him Richa.
Richa. That's much more doable on the vocal cords.
Yes, it is.
Well, please come in. She gestures for you guys to go past and closes the door behind you all. We're already a few drinks in. Would you care to have a drink?
That would be great. Thank you. Yes.
She kind of nods and gestures for you guys to follow Balar as he's heading through the rooms, and she goes off through another doorway. She comes back with more drinks. Richa, you have a yellow cup. Bryn, you have what looks to be like a silver cup or some sort of iron cup.
Pretty bird. Yeah, I'll just drink it.
You two, give me con saves. In tandem.
Whoa.
So you both immediately get to the ears starting to get hot, the tip of the nose getting a little warm. And so you immediately get tipsy, and by the time you guys finish drinking this, you're like, oh, this might be dangerous.
Richard just sort of whistles and goes, "That'll really fuck some shit up."
Bryn's just gonna nod at that comment.
You dears don't have to worry at all. Koporin and myself and Rashi were already quite a few drinks in. It doesn't get much worse.
Tasty! Really tasty!
Koporin's still standing and he's 4 drinks in, so you're getting the sense that maybe it's not that worrisome.
Aren't you playing and singing along and just like have a good time?
Nora's in the corner drinking water.
Just struggling.
She's just
Born's like,
too much social awkwardness going on right now.
Just like, I want to disappear.
Born goes over to her child. She's one of those kind at a party.
I mentally to compare, and I'm like, you've been to a party with me. You know what type of party person I am.
Born's usually too drunk to remember anything, so.
That is very true. When Bryn sees Nori, she's just gonna go over there and hug and kiss her because she's now tipsy. And
Just kidding. Rashi doesn't do.
I was saying you get a little smack to the back of your head as your mom goes by. Will you grow up?
Okay, to be fair, she's only 21. So, yes, she's an adult, but she's still pretty young, and she's been sheltered most of her life. So,
See,
And half elves, they reach adulthood at 20, don't they? So
yeah,
she's the
but she's
essentially a 19-year-old.
but she's been pretty sheltered her entire life.
She's like a
So, she's got
homeschooled
some
20-year-old.
personality to growing to do. So, I imagine she still thinks kissing is gross a little
see,
bit.
Rachad's only 20, and he's lived a vastly different life than Rashi.
That's a cultural thing.
I
Fucked some shit
mean,
up and almost died.
Richa has had the most trauma.
yeah, no, Rashi hasn't had a lot of trauma. She's been very sheltered, despite, other than like the racial shit, but that was still pretty minor comparatively.
So,
Hey, Jolie.
sorry. With that, you guys all prepare yourselves. Drinks are imbibed. There is no mention from Belar about anything that happened on the disc down below. And he actually probably would have made a note again once more before walking inside and kind of letting all the stress kind of wash off of him, just don't say anything. But you guys are in the living room for a while before vapors hit your nostrils, and you guys, the stomach starts churning and growling as many different aromas kind of waft through the house till eventually it's unbearable, and Ame comes around the corner and says, "Dinner is served."
Or even before that was said, it's like Scooby-Doo style, like floating in the air, already heading over there.
I mean, they are about the same height.
You guys pull around, so you go through the living room, through the sitting room, down the hallway, down the stairs, take a right, and through a sort of kitchen-esque tiled situation into pretty much what probably encompasses half of the size of the building, an entire feasting room. It's not a dining room, it's a feasting room. There is literally a stuck pig roasting over a fire. There is an interesting sort of wooden barricade that looks to be cordoning off like a good 8 foot by 8 foot square off from the other side from the pig. There's an opening to get back there, but it looks like a very temporary setup. There is the large table in the middle with all sorts of fixings of sauces, gravies, puddings, and many different works. This could easily probably feed 4 times the amount of people that are here. But she went all out. There is what looks to be a marlin, or of the same size, that has been cooked and skinned and descaled and everything, and it's off across the other side of the table itself, as well as what looks like Flintstone-esque style cuts of large beef meat that are hanging. So the pigs spoke on the side. You got the marlin right across the table, the contraption off to the far right, but in between the marlin and the pig, sort of using the same fire pit that's underneath the pig on a metal spoke, there's the 2 giant cuts of steak, basically.
Rashi is practically bouncing and like, go get food so I can get food. Go get food so I can get food. Go get food so I can get food.
And then off to the left, right as you guys come in before the pig, there is a cask there of possibly the same drink. And also a single pitcher of water is on the table.
That's a very sad picture.
It looks to be freshly poured into. A little bit of condensation around the sides. But she kind of gestures at everything and says, "Well, dig in."
Bryn will take that offer.
Warren's like being a little nosy. He goes over to like the little sectioned off area, like trying to see if he can look over the barricade. He's like, "What's back here?"
Well, you can go around it. It has like it's only walled in on 3 sides. And as you go around, you see what looks to be a very perfectly cooked and glazed over turkey, but visibly blocked off from the rest of the room for purposes.
Kaporin is gonna go over there, just take a turkey leg, and it's like he's disappeared for like a good 10 minutes, and you won't know until he comes back around later.
You just see like Kaporin's head kind of like just up to his nose around the corner. Like, what's up, guys?
You
A
won't
Mr.
know,
a
you're
Mr. Wilson.
So tall.
He's pulling a Mr. Wilson
Yep.
from
Home Improvement. Yeah.
You hear him eating, but you can't see anything.
You can just see his cheek muscles going as he's chewing.
Like, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Just enjoying the food.
Which he immediately went back there. So you're like, what food? You didn't get food when you walked back there.
Don't worry about it. Just we're trying to have the fish.
He is pretty much taking the fish and only the fish of any of the things. The problem with there being a barricade is now Racha is very curious about what is the barricade about.
Is Kaporin wide enough to like block the entrance?
If you move yourself in just a way, you can block a majority of it. Yeah.
Kaporin's just kind of like inconveniently just standing in the walkway. Then it's just like, nope.
With a turkey leg in his hand.
No, he
It's
just
gonna make him want to go back there more.
he just sticks his head back there every time he wants to take a bite. Just come. Nope.
Well, what do you got there, buddy? In Bryn's voice.
Nothing. As he throws like a napkin over it. The turkey leg he was eating.
He's just sort of eyeing the door like, alright. Just walks away for now.
He's like, I got my stealth rolls.
Right.
Kaporin's like quickly tries to finish up the leg and head back to the table.
As everyone goes
Rashi will be
around,
the last person to get food, by the way.
yeah, as everyone kind of goes around to different food, Bryn, with how awkward Kaporin's acting, I'm sure you would eventually go over to the barricade.
God, does she want to though? Yeah, she will. What the hell is Kaporin doing now?
And you two would probably see, or he would tell you what is behind.
Oh, Kaporin would like pull out what he was eating, like just show like, huh?
I see. She's not gonna pull anything from there, but I don't want to say like to tell the child not to go back there because then I feel like it's gonna have the reverse effect. But he's gonna want to go back there. Oh god. Yeah, she's just gonna. God damn it. I feel like whatever I do, it's gonna it's gonna kill Racha. She'll take a small piece, hoping that Racha will just understand. She'll take a small piece of whatever is there. And then go sit on the left side of Nori. Specifically the left side of Nori.
Yeah, Balar sits at the head, one of the ends of the table, over by the pig, and Ame sits to his right. So her back is kind of where you guys came from, as far as down the stairs and everything. But there's plenty of seats all around where you don't even need to sit near anybody if you wanted to. There's enough seats to pace yourself.
No, we're sitting to the left side of Nori.
But I'm just saying, like, that's how much room there is here. Everyone can socially distance if you want to.
Racha, not knowing any sort of etiquette whatsoever, sits directly to the other side of Balar.
He's fine with it.
I guess we have to go get whatever drink there was at the cask or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, everyone has their own stein, so you basically just go and refill.
Great. Bryn's gonna go refill hers and Nori's, and then sit back down.
The slightly...
Having seen that it doesn't destroy you as a person and she probably won't have to worry about anything, she will take it.
Okay, Constitution saving throw.
Fun! And now I will roll low. I did it!
So you immediately start to feel the warm cheeks, the red ears, and the warming nose. So you're immediately tipsy as well.
Kaporin's just making his round around the table. It's like dropping seats every like 5 minutes to go get another different section of food.
I thought you meant like making rounds, like you were trying to talk to everybody. I was like, Rashi totally ignores anyone that tries to talk to her.
Just a
because
stiff arm.
Wild boar. There's wild boar. She doesn't even look up or anything. She's wild boar, so she's like chowing down on that.
She's wild boar the wild boar?
Yeah, pretty much.
She's like cutting off as like the boar is spinning around. It's just like, and just feeding it into.
Yeah, pretty much. It's her mom's cooking. She's gonna eat like everything until she's like double the size that she is and can't fit into her armor overnight or something. I don't know. Until
slowly but surely
like,
undoing the straps of your armor, like, oh god.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kaporin's wearing his one size bigger clothes just to make sure he can fit everything.
Kaporin went to the maternity store beforehand.
Yeah.
These are my Thanksgiving pants.
But
Time
yeah,
to Joey Tribbiani this.
In between him like stuffing his face, like probably like 10 minutes between, like Kaporin's playing like a nice background music.
You eventually get it right, but yes. You got greasy fingers from eating all that food. You're tipsy. I'm sure the first couple iterations of whatever you play is going to be a little off.
Would the greasy fingers help coat the strings, though?
Not when you're trying to, like, do chords. Just slipping. So it's like...
Or it's like electric guitar and...
on accident.
This is how Kaporin invents the slide guitar.
Can I become proficient in that if I'm drunk enough?
No. No.
Just a temporary drunken proficiency. He can't do it when he's sober ever, but somehow it works when he's drunk.
It's like drunk memory. You only remember what you did drunk when you are drunk.
It's probably the least problematic thing that could come out of being drunk, though. I'm really good at playing guitar, you guys.
Wait, if that's the case for Kaporin, like all these terrible memories are like flooding back to him from when all the parties we've been to.
Like, I didn't want this.
Kaporin just goes catatonic in the corner, saying, "No, no, please, no."
Oh god, is that what happened? Starts cleaning out his ear. Anyway, as dinner moves on, you guys...
Terrible.
You have just choices upon choices on combinations and foods to eat. Conversation-wise, it all kind of stays above par. Nothing too invasive or not much description is asked on a lot of things. You guys get asked about what you've been up to since you all have been together. Everything kind of gets glossed over with a light brush. Ame wants to hear some of it, but maybe not every detail. So she'll redirect the conversation once she gets to a point where she's like, nope, don't want to hear it anymore. So she would be like, oh, so what happened? Oh, you got into a battle with that. That seems very scary. So, what happened the next day?
Child's like reenacting the fights. So it's like, boom shakalaka. Just like,
And for a brief moment, as he holds the rapier and he says "boom shakalaka," Trentimir reaches out. No, just kidding.
I don't even. Can I even say boom shakalaka anymore? Because it was technically through him that I even knew the word.
Yeah, but you've heard. I mean, you know that you've said it before, so it's still mimicable.
You're mimicking your own self.
Yeah. Anyway, so that happened, and then she asks more stories from you guys before you met Rashi. Again, a very light brush is painted, I'm guessing, by the majority of you all, with Richa ever so gently, every now and again, pushing the brush a little harder, and then other people in the party being like, "So the next day."
Yeah. At one point, something like, we could use another bird in the crow's nest or something to that effect comes up.
And so we quickly left that city and went to another city.
It's like crap was thrown across the floor, and then we found this beautiful island. You know,
Just conveniently avoiding everything to do with anything Nori related. Because that's all been bad.
I'm sure the whole, we had drug tea stuff comes up, and that was interesting.
Just avoid that.
She takes
So much
notes.
avoidance.
Amazing.
I glare.
the point is over there. It's like, okay, and supposedly it can be found here. I don't know why, but it grows in this area, and
I've got some friends there I can ask about.
these people know like really a lot about it.
And what were
Come
their
on,
names again? You just see Balar kind of like looking from side to side, like, "Oh fuck."
Warren like looks over at Richard. It's like, what's the town called? Does Richard?
He's looking through his backstory.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget his name real quick.
I don't even think Kaporan kind of walked off on his
This
own
was
for a while.
outside of Ardamir, though, wasn't it?
Kaporan just saw an elven woman straddling Bryn. No, it's probably
it
Nori,
was-
right?
Yeah, it's Travis Nori.
It was Delseth would have been the guy's name, and I think her name was Mary of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mary.
So Kaporan's like going on and on about like this
Oh,
Mary.
that's definitely in the girls' notes.
He started talking like
With the note avoid.
he's like, if you can find the tea, I will pay a lot of money to you if you could get it for me.
Oh, I know
Kind of
quite a
thing.
few people who would pay a lot of money
so
for that.
help me.
And Kaporan's like, so you don't drink it, so per to say, you just kind of let it fill the air, kind of.
Okay. It's good to know. Good to know.
Pour it over hot rocks and.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. There's a couple
Isn't it-
saunas in here that kind of use the same thing, so interesting.
Nori's just has her head in her hands, covering her face.
You're the one with that spell, right? That you can talk to people across vast distances. No, not you, dear. And she kind of like turns back to Kaporan.
Oh no!
Oh yes, I do. I can.
Well, check in
yeah.
with me a couple times a week.
It sounds like a plan. Is there any times I should avoid?
Anything past
All
9.
the time. All the time.
Anything past?
Do not
Kaporan-
support my mother's habit.
Kaporan's like waving off Rashi and everyone else. Shh. Okay, past 9, got it. Like Kaporan's taking notes. He's like, okay.
Perrin has a pen pal. And
Kaporan-
Rashi's mom.
This is working towards Kaporan wants to make friends, and Kaporan has made a new friend, and he's happy. So I'm gonna make a note in my notes to call Rashi's mom every few days,
But not past 9.
but not past 9. Yes.
So with that, the dinner is had, and you guys, any conversations or questions you want to ask either of them while you're here?
as dinner sort of starts dying down, Rashi comes over to her mom, who's I'm assuming still sitting at the table. I'm glad you're happy, Mama. She's had a lot of drinks and is kind of tipsier than she's used to, even though it stops at a certain point. I'm sure it's still something she's not used to because I don't think her mom would let her drink normally, but she's an adult now. Yeah, she's had adventures. I'm sure she's shared done drinks before, but I'm happy.
And
I'm
she just
glad
kind
you're
of
happy, Mama.
ruffles the top of your head and
And she puts an arm around her to give her like a weird sideways hug.
yes, baby. I'm happiest I've been in a long time.
Like ever.
Well, yes, but we also had some good times together, didn't we?
Well, yeah, always.
Is
But
this conversation heard? Like, are you audible or are you whispering to
yeah,
her?
she's not being quiet. She's not like shouting it, but like she's not being quiet. She's
Okay,
like she's happy that her mom is happy.
when your mom says she's the happiest she's been, Bryn's just gonna poke Nori's side. And Nori knows where I'm poking.
Just
She glares at Bryn just very playfully.
Bryn just giggles and smiles at you.
there's only
You're
been
never gonna let me live that down, are you?
a few other times, dear, that I've been this happy, and the day that I had you.
Ew. Mom, you ruined the moment. And she goes back and sits down.
She just
on the
grabs.
other side of Belar. It's like, "Aw."
She just grabs like the back of your armor and clothes and kind of just like pulls you back over and gives you the little side hug.
She does not fight it.
Yeah.
She doesn't fight it.
She just gives you a tighter squeezing hug, giving you
too hard.
a little threat
Too
of
hard.
possibly the food inside.
Too hard. Much eat.
Well, you need to pace yourself, dear. And she lets you
but-
go and pats you on the back a little bit.
She looks at Balor. He gets mad when I don't eat enough, so I made sure I ate enough for like 20 people.
Well, just wants to make sure you're eating. So, anything else from anybody? Want to ask them anything?
Ame doesn't seem like magical. She just seems. Okay.
She's just a socialite.
Awesome. She's like the number one mom. After Bryn, of course.
Richa,
You mean
sort
tat
of
tat?
like Richard gestures towards Rashi and is like, "Wonderful travel companion," and then sort of like going back to like when we first met. Richard's kind of gonna bring up Rashi's first couple of words of like, "I think I was meant to find you all. Where you're supposed to lead me somewhere," and then that's about all he said, or she said at the time. The visions brought me, and he's trying to sort of like question like Rashi's deity, like what's up with that? Like she doesn't. I would have assumed that she was part of it, but she doesn't seem like she's part of the clergy, kind of thing.
Okay. You're still bringing this up to Rashi, who doesn't really understand your talk yet, so...
Yeah, so
I don't
he's like...
I don't know if Kimber has clergy in the
So, yeah, like,
way.
Rashi's trying to, like, ask, like... Does Ame follow the same deity, or kind of thing? It's like, where did Rashi learn this deity?
Okay.
Oh.
If I
Do I need a performance check to convey that?
No, I'm. You see Rashi kind of like his face sort of do like a thinking thing for a moment. If I understand you well enough, you're asking about the visions?
Yeah, he'll just sort of like do the hand gesture, like so.
Well, I assume I've always assumed that it was Mithranim. He's a common deity in Kimber and the Duergar, and um, like metals and forging and stuff like that. So it just sort of seemed a natural fit.
Right. Where'd you learn a thing like that?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I learned forging from Valar, but I don't know how I heal people. I just do. I guess maybe he likes me a lot.
It's always very interesting to see where different healing magic comes from.
I mean, from what I understand, there aren't a whole lot of clerics that follow Mithranim, but I started sort of following him because of the smithing and the metals, and then apparently I can do clericy things.
Yeah, Mithranum's not much of a pray to him, be holy type. It's more. Sacrifices aren't the right word. It's more. We know. We mine the metal, and we always give a piece of it back. So, where most gods increase in power over however many souls end up going towards them as they perish and they followed them in their lives, Mithranim works more in physicality. He derives his power from the blood, sweat, and tears that blacksmiths use into using his metal, into the pieces of metal that they return to him. Pretty much, there's a bunch of creator gods that kind of use the whole, like, from ash you arose and ash you return. Mithranim kind of falls in the same bit of mumbo jumbo.
Or Child would point towards Balar and go, I can do holy things?
I don't do holy things. Definitely not a holy man, but been able to pop off a shot or two as my past have needed me to.
Ooh, fascinating. And he wouldn't allude to it, but he's thinking about the cannon explosions just now.
I feel like him and Bryn would just have a moment of eye contact.
Or just looking directly at Britain, like, okay, yeah.
I get
Like,
that.
heads.
Mithranim's been much more of a more recent deity in regards to mainstream application and acceptance. Only the last few hundred years has he really seen prominence, gotten any further ahead. Duergar sort of came across some ancient text that led us to knowing about him, and ever since then, been following in his ways.
Ancient texts. And like question mark.
Yeah. Text that's ancient.
He'll sort of like rummage through his backpack or wherever his little ledger book is, and he'll sort of pop it out and drop it in like ancient text, and then he'll like he'll start talking, saying that story that Skipper gave him. That was like Castian Keelan
Oh,
and
so
all
you're bringing
that.
out the journal.
Yeah, that stuff.
He kind of looks at it, flips through a couple pages, and I'm not sure what this is all written in, but I've never seen it before.
It's secret.
Yeah. I can't make
It
heads or
might-
tails of it, or beak or tails of it, whatever you prefer.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to translate it too, huh? Because I'd need the actual words to write it down.
Yep.
You just provide Rachel with a dictionary.
Well, the problem is Rachel can read it. And, like he knows what it is and how to read it, but it's just he can't share that information.
Is it something that's an avian?
No, it's a thieves' can't thing.
Oh,
Because if it was
okay. Oh, it's a
anything
rogue
else,
thing.
I could read it.
Okay. I've played a rogue before. Yeah, the thieves' can is only specific to a select group of people. If you're not in, if you don't know how to read it, you don't know how to read it. Okay. I just
What we
wanted
need
clarity.
to do. What we need to do is we need to spend a couple hours. We need to get Rachad dictionary. We have to have the book next to him, and he points to each word, and we slowly fill it out.
It's wonderful for you to think that there's dictionaries.
Yeah, I
Thieves'
figured as
can's
much.
more like a cipher than like a word-for-word translation. So it's more like a coded cipher.
And it's ancient thieves' cants too, so he was able to get
Oh,
like
great.
majority of what it was, not so much like exactly.
But he'd share the story that Skipper gave and about Castian and all of that craziness that went on with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's ancient, but what's it got to do with metal? Like, sorry, I don't know too much about the rest of the world, but I don't got much more than that.
He just sort of shrugs and he's like, Mithranin, Castian Keelan. And he's like he like
All
pretends
right.
like he's connecting a line, like could they be related, like trying to gesture that way.
I mean,
think because
they
they're
got a
both
letter
really
in the
old?
name that's the same, but that's about it.
Is it because they're both really old, Richa?
He sort of like does the sort of gesture again, and it's just like about 100 years ago.
Oh, our ancient text was much older than 100 years.
He just sort of like looks down at the book again. He's like, "Well, all right then," and just sort of puts it back.
Anything else you want to show him?
I technically don't have my bag of holding, so Nori's holding on to that right now.
I would have given that back. I would have given that back to you. I wouldn't have held on to it.
While she's sulking in the corner of the room, she throws the bag of holding at you.
Just toss it so violently. No. Nicely hand it back.
It opens up as it comes at you, and you slip inside.
It's just like over my head, and I'm like, "Ah!" Just-
You take it off, and you're like, wow, that would have worked good on JJ.
Half of Richa is in a pocket dimension, the other half is in our world.
What,
Winnie the
can I
Poohing
see
it.
can I see into infinity when I'm looking into
It's
this?
the endless void.
You've come to make a bargain, is what happened.
I guess actually the other thing he would bring out then, because we're talking about books, would be the locked book the one that he purchased, that he had given to Saren and took back off of his body. And he'd sort of bring it out and, in his best fire noise possible, be making that noise and doing the hand gestures like. Exactly, and then he'll start like making play drawing symbols with his finger across the things.
You bring the book out and he kind of like looks at it interestingly enough, and you start making those noises, and he nods along with it. He goes and he reaches and takes one of the stoking tongs for the pig behind him, and grabs a coal and kind of just starts running it across the metal bindings over and under the book.
He'll be like, careful, and then make like.
He looks at you and goes, "No need to worry. Seen some of these before." And after all of the different markings start to creep across the different portions of metal here, he looks at it, kind of flips it over, and reads the other side. Well, it's instructions. How to open the book. And you see him go, and he puts his finger in the middle where everything kind of connects, and he holds it there for a moment. And as he does so, the tip of his finger, after holding it there for about a minute and a half, the metal starts to form around his finger and like encapsulate the end of his finger. And as it does so, and he continues holding it there, it goes about halfway up to that to that last knuckle. Gotta hold this down with my elbow and do it. Okay. So it goes up to about the knuckle here. And as it does so, it looks silver. And then more metal starts to form around the edges, and it ends up looking like a small hammer. And as he does so, once the hammer is completed, the metal stopped moving, he pulls it off. And he kind of like wiggles it around. And then he looks down at the book and kind of flipping it over and tracing and kind of looking different. And then you see him strike certain symbols in an order as around the book as he's going. He eventually hits all of them except for the last one where he had put his finger on originally. And as he strikes it, the metal clasps that have been holding this thing closed all release. And after he hit the middle part, he held it there. And it sounds just like a hammer hitting an anvil every time he hits. And he hits and makes the sound, the clasps release, and the metal quickly dissipates from his finger and goes back to the book. And as it does so, the metallic portions that were over the binding, the spine and both covers, just like almost liquidate and cover the cover, the spine, and the back. And they encapsulate it, and wording starts to appear across the cover. It's in a language you don't know. But he sits there and he waits for everything to calm down and finish and get into its place.
Shaw's just gonna be watching this whole thing, and he just absentmindedly goes, "Fuck the fucking queen."
After the words have all sit and set in themselves, the liquid-esque material of the metal hardens into actual metal once again. Looks at it, holds it up, reads it, puts it down, and kind of slides it over to you. Not sure what you're getting into on that one, but I'd be careful.
He just sort of like looks down at it, unable to read it, and is like, "What is it?"
Well, If what I'm reading is right, this seems to be some sort of text between Mithranin, Jodaloon, Neclarain, Vekrin, and Yidnilan.
Someone's writing that down, right?
There's no way I'm ever gonna spell those right.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they knew how to spell it, probably.
I mean, if you said it slower, I could probably get a general spelling.
Even then, I would be fucked over. Val, please put that in the chat.
I don't know if I
Please.
want to.
Please.
We go back and re-listen to the stream. It's there.
Oh, that's true. Like we were playing like 100 times just to get the right. It's like it sounds about right.
There's no way I will ever.
It'll be
Knowing-
brutally misspelled.
And Val will just sit there and make fun of us for misspelling it.
When in doubt, spell it phonetically. You still
Even
might be
then, I
wrong,
will
but you'll be
fuck
pretty
up
damn
so
close.
You do
Oh.
Such a
not
bad
know me,
speller.
apparently.
No,
It's
no, I
from
don't.
5
You're
different
right.
languages, so good luck.
5 different languages.
Yeah,
And
those are all different
comprehend
languages.
That helps.
Just comprehend. Oh,
You see,
No,
the only
5
problem-
different human languages.
Oh. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Wait.
Oh boy.
Well, now I need Nori to come up here and not stop being drunk and come seriously to read this stupid thing.
I thought we were like all gathered around. Can I look at it? Is it in any languages I currently understand?
No.
Well,
Where Cha's gonna like, with his hands make like a V shape, and then clap, and then like is it gonna relock?
Oh.
Do any of us understand any of these languages, or are they all new to us?
Let me go through the list. Bryn, what languages do you know?
Common and Celestial.
Richa, what languages do you know? No, I've already checked yours, Richa. It's not yours. Kaporin.
Celeste, Common, Draconic, English, or Elvish.
I'm sorry. It got me so off guard. I forgot it was off mute.
You read the word, the name for Vekrin.
Okay.
It's from your draconic side.
Ooh.
Nori, what do you know?
I know Elvish, Sylvan, Common, Druidic, and Goblin.
Elvish. English.
English.
You know, the Goblin one picks up for Yidnerlan.
Ooh. I'm not gonna try and spell that.
I'm doing it.
I appreciate it.
Oh, I just was just like, Yggdrasil? What? This became Nordic? Because that sounded like to me.
I can't find what the 5th name was. I think I may have accidentally deleted it as I was scrolling.
Oh no!
Which ones do you have?
Mithranim, Yodalin, Vikrin, Yidnerlan.
It was an N one.
There was also a
Nephthrin,
J
okay.
one.
That's
There was also a J.
that's Yodalin.
Yodely, yodely, yee-hoo.
It's probably spelled with a J, actually, not a Y.
Yeah.
It sounds very Viking-ish. That's out of character,
there-
obviously.
Is there a Valkyrie language that Bryn can read?
There you go. It's in Discord chat.
Oh, okay, good. I was like trying to write down spellings as you said them, so okay, I'm not gonna do that now. I was trying to be helpful, you guys.
And what
well,
languages do you
obviously
know,
Rashi-
Rashi? You know the Underdwarvish.
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Underdwarvish.
So you do know the Mithranim. That name comes
Yeah,
across.
I was gonna say I should know that one since he's my deity.
Yeah.
I didn't like the other deity, so
And just straight Dwarvish, Nephterane.
Mm-hmm. Neftarang. Okay. Okay. Something is in a setting with Beyond that keeps turning my screen black, and it's not in my settings. So someone has a setting in their D&D Beyond that keeps turning my screen black every time they do something, and I don't know what it is.
I think the only thing that interrupts between everyone else in the campaign is the rolls, but no one's rolling right now.
Which one was the goblin one?
Oops.
The Y one?
You said Nephtharain is the other one that I know? Okay.
Yeah, Nephterane is Dwarvish. Mithranim is under Dwarvish.
Right.
The the Draconic one is Vecrin. And
You mean the one with the W?
yes, but said with a V.
It's fucking German.
And just FYI, though they phonetically come from different languages, they don't mean things in those languages, so don't even try looking for them. Yes, Vecrin is Draconic. I believe the one for Goblin was Yidnerland.
Yes, the one with the Y, that's what you said.
Okay. And so there's only one that we don't know.
Nah, Yoderlin. Yeah, that's the one that we don't know.
So
For
besides
As a player, I can guess. Sorry,
besides
go ahead.
does none of any of us can read like the context of the book?
As you open
Just
it
the
up, you
names?
guys can read portions of it.
Comprehend language is going to come in useful.
As you
And
as you guys look at it, whichever language that you can read a name in, it turns into that. So the text, when you look at it visually to yourself, it will change into that language. But even then, certain things are missing or redacted in a case.
Richard, where did you get this book?
I'll give it to you for 2,200 trillium.
That did not help.
he bought it.
Everyone give
I'll
me,
figure
actually, Bryn, definitely Racha, and Nori, give me history checks.
It's just not cool enough.
No, it was more or less, you were the vein of existence for Vath and for Saren, so they would never bring you in on how wizarding works. But there are symbols, and some of these pages aren't just words, but full-on diagrams. And you guys, with the few interactions, Racha mostly, but also Nori, with you growing up and with Arix, these look like either spell components or spells themselves.
He's just sort of looking over it all, not understanding a damn word, and is just like, ooh, fascinating. But he would bring up to Balar, like, and do the hand clapping thing, like, and basically convey, if we close it, is it going to relock?
He closes it to show you it stays the same.
I don't like it.
Point asked Racha if he could look through it.
And shrugs, 2 + 2, I figured water.
You know, Kaporan and books have a good history together.
I don't know if we should let Corparan have the book when he's tipsy.
Well, I'm not gonna like let him hold on to it. I'm just saying like he can look at it, sure.
That's 2,200 trillium.
Warren just flipping through the pages, sees if he notices anything, pops in his eye, of course. Maybe like scribbles down a couple whatever images he finds, maybe something interesting.
As far as what you guys can read, the parts that make sense, like actual full sentences, they seem to the parts that are in full, complete contextual sense that you can actually read. It seems to be parts of the book are a conversation, and it looks like it's a conversation between the gods. It's decently old, and it talks about uprisings and subversive behavior between some of the lesser gods. Kind of flipping from the front to the back, they also ends up talking about the gods that are dead, the gods that they've killed and their body counts, as well as different bits of what seems to be chants.
Ooh, is there Pouring gotta learn a draconic chant at some point, but that sounds like just.
Well, like I said, it's not so much a draconic chant. It's more of it's a chant, and everything's being translated into draconic so you can read it.
Oh, got it. That sounds really cool. Kaporn, I feel like Kaporn would just want to try to learn it just because it sounds cool and draconic, maybe, probably, but yeah, Kaporn just wanted to, like, if he could scribble down like a diagram or two, just like, maybe I'll try to figure out what this is at some point. But
Fran tries to become a wizard.
Kaporn is already he's on his own, very magical, like a unicorn that should be stuck in a stable. But hey, we'll figure that out as we go along.
Pretty much all of the songs from Wicked are coming to mind now.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
I'll have that ready for next session.
Richard just sort of like looks around at the group and is just like, we're just chasing fables, I guess.
Does seem that way.
I don't like it.
After this bit of inner discussion between everybody, as you guys are all kind of passing around the book, looking at it and whatnot, Ame kind of speaks up. So, what's next? Where are you guys off to? Where are you guys going?
I think we were talking about going back north. Just gonna like look at the group, right?
Does that get me closer to finding the Barnabas Poo-Poo Head guy?
Bryn will just do a solid nod at that.
Okay.
We would be going by sea, correct?
Oh yes, I think that would be the best thing.
I know. I don't like the ocean either. I'm gonna have to pick up some more medication.
Well,
Kaporn's
I don't mean to interject myself, but she kind of holds up the stein. This usually takes care of that.
Kaporn's like, could you give us a case?
I've got enough extra that could fill a few flasks.
That would be really appreciated if you'd be willing to.
Any friends of Rashi's? She kind of scoots out of the chair and goes to go. Because this cask you have here is empty, so she's going to go fill up a few flasks. But at this, Valar kind of speaks up. So, you guys going on the water? You have a boat?
No, we have the opposite. We have horses.
No. I've heard of a seahorse, but putting a few things together, I'm not guessing that's what you've got.
No, I don't think they'd appreciate going on the sea.
I'm curious, how big is a giant seahorse?
You would have to have seen a seahorse first.
Kaporn's like, seahorse. Just imagining the horse water walk or something. He's like, seahorse.
It's classified as a large beast. You could ride it.
Well, I mean, if you guys do have a line in on a boat already?
Of course we don't.
Well, how far north are you going?
The next step.
I was hoping to get back up to Ixia eventually.
That's a bit of a long haul there.
Yes, it is.
Kaporni kind of interjects, like, when did we make this decision?
Well,
You were busy.
wanting to get there. You know I want to get back to Ixia. I have something I need to do.
Well, I can't help you getting all the way back up there. But I do have a few friends that run some fishing boats off the coast. They're gonna get you at least as far as Bloodgood, maybe the cliffs.
Bloodgood Peninsula.
Yeah, there's a couple ports on the Bloodgood Peninsula that are alright. Kind of looks at you, Brent. Probably you don't get off the boat.
Understood.
Rachawa, I guess, would just roll out his map that he's drawn the picture of Mr. Burns with the hat on, basically. And, basically be like, this is how we're going to be doing.
It's what it looked like. It looked like Mr. Burns with a hat on.
I don't disagree. That's why I used the analogy.
I'll let you redraw your Mr. Burns.
Can I ask, just for curiosity's sake, because trust me, I will take that warning and live by it this time. What would happen if...
You slightly
I were to
rolled
get
your
off
eyes
the
at that.
boat? Yeah, I know.
What would happen? What?
If I get off the boat there.
Well, the orcs, bit hotheads. Not many humans down in Cydia. I know you're not human, but you look it, and to less intellectually inclined individuals, you definitely look like it. The only humans you're gonna find there are slaves. Not the good kind either.
There are good kind of slaves?
Well, it's one thing to be a work slave, because then all that's asked of you is to work. Yeah, you work to shit, but at least all you have to do is work. Orcs are very fit individuals. They don't need work slaves.
Kaporni's like putting it pieced together. It's like, oh. Oh.
Yeah, Rachawa's like behind Ballard doing the donut and hot dogs
Pelvic
sign
thrust,
behind him.
Now this,
Why do you think I didn't want to go there in the first place?
it no longer looks like Mr. Burns. It looks like a pea shooter from Gardens vs. Zombies.
It
Yeah,
does!
I was trying to do my best with reenacting the Mr. Burns, but
It still looks like Mr. Burns to me, but it's, because I have Mr. Burns stuck in my head. But yes, it does kind of look like a pea shooter from Plants vs.
No,
Zombies.
it looks like one of those Looney Tune Martians, like the green, like the, not the obviously Marvin the Martian, but like the little green aliens that they bring along to be their servants. A little.
I haven't seen them forever, so I have no recollection.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I
In a way-
only know Marvin the Martian, and he's definitely not green. You actually don't know what color he is, other than kind of you assume he's black, but you
He's
actually
dark.
never see his face.
Uh,
Yeah, he's
it-
dark.
If you include the light green circle in the center, it could be a Kenku.
I was gonna say it sort of looks more bird-like. I was gonna say a dodo, but we'll go with Kenku since you're a Kenku.
It's a green screen, Corporean. So anything green you put up in front of it is going to
Disappear.
magically take on the shape of. There you go.
I still can't see that, but it looks kind of creepy, so I'm probably for the best.
Ah,
This
yes.
is- The alien Martians that they summon or whatever.
Yeah.
I have never seen
The
those.
bird people. So Kenku. Got it. Nevertheless, so you bring this, Richard, you bring this out to him and you show him, and Kaporan's in Minecraft. And are you trying to like point to the where you guys want to get dropped off?
He'd just sort of be like indicating the way we would want to travel, more or less.
Well, I can tell you now that a ship's not going to be able to take care of all this for you.
Two plus two, I figured water. And then it'll just be like, at least to this one, and point towards the peninsula, and maybe we can hop a different ship, kind of thing. It is what he's implying, at least.
Yeah.
Well, we do know the northern cliffs, you know. There's someone there. You know, the town.
Yeah.
But that might be a little far.
One thing that he's going to change and point out to you is that instead of going directly to the coast right here, because that's where Qatar lives,
That little green dot.
I mean, he does have a ship that might help us out, and
Please no.
We're not stealing from him.
he points to the
I
little.
didn't say steal.
He points to the inlets where the coast kind of takes a turn, and says that that's where his friends are at.
Does that place have a name?
No, not really. It's just a town's fishing. It does not really have a port or anything. It's just kind of a cast-off place that, you know, since the coast kind of takes that curve, the ocean isn't as violent, the waves, so it's a safe harbor for them to get their boats out. They usually end up wrapping around the coast to actually fish, but that's just where they cast off.
Val, I have a quick question that's a little bit of a shenanigan. We
Alright.
have a map. We have the ability to draw points and name them. The guiding hand spell just requires something on a map. We could name a place, have
Does not
that
work
place
like
be
that.
there, and use the thing.
Does not work
Ugh.
like that. Just because it says it's named on a map, what it means by that is that it is commonly known as
It was worth a
that
shot.
place. That's what.
Plus, it would
Go ahead.
when you think about it, though, if you did it that way, it would just point to wherever you wrote it on the map. It wouldn't like that's not necessarily the correct
Exactly.
place.
We're here. Yeah, no, but
We're 20 miles inland. Interesting.
what it means by that is that it's such a well-known place that it is written down on a map. So even some of like the newer towns that have been created in probably the last year or so would not even show up even if you knew the name because it's not on maps yet.
Good to know.
The green dot that's on there, you said that's near the coast. You said that was Kember, right?
Yeah.
And and that doesn't even have a name. It's just a green dot that's Kember.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty well established town.
Yep.
City, place.
So the green dot is Kember, and then where the line crosses the coast is where, what's his name?
Qatar.
Big
Yeah.
bad guy.
Who says he's bad?
Big
He's
dangerous guy.
That's more like it.
there you go.
I feel like this. They referred to themselves as archdevils, didn't they? I thought they did.
Qatar never referred to himself as that.
Again, bad is a matter of perspective. We don't know that Qatar is actually bad, but he's definitely dangerous.
Again, stuff that wouldn't hold up in the court, but things that your gut says, no, bad, stop, so you avoid it because your gut says, no, bad, stop.
But obviously, we're not saying any of this in game because I care for Child's life.
Yeah, no, this is
Yes.
absolutely just out of care. No way we say any of this.
Yes, we know.
Just clarify.
Well, Balor knows too that you've also created a contract, so
Oh yeah.
he wouldn't even let you guys get near it as far as talking goes.
He won't put Rashi's life in danger.
The fact that he even knows that there's a contract is like probably pushing the boundary.
But we didn't tell him. He guessed it. He figured it out on his own. So technically,
Yeah, I just said, I want to tell you, but I can't, and he put 2 and 2 together because he's an intelligent individual.
and he's also been around
His
for a
dad
few
might-
hundred years, probably.
And he's lost some people who have talked about it. So
Okay. So Bo?
So the blue squiggle next to Kimber, that's where the little fishing village is at?
yeah.
I'm awful at maps, even if they're labeled, so just so y'all are aware.
Yeah. So he would tell you. Oops. Yeah. So his friend that he's got there, is Veradotilin. That's just the first name.
Really?
Hey, when I get on a roll, I get on a roll, right?
Are you
It's
going to try to
dwarven
spell that out
sounding.
for us, or should I just guess?
There you go.
How did you do that?
How'd I do what?
Nothing. Not important.
I'm literally copying it from my OneNote.
It just pops up interesting. I was just like, huh, how did you do that?
It's just like how mine came up white. He just probably has a black background.
Yeah. So,
I don't like that the W's make V sounds. It's upsetting.
It's like Germanic
Yep,
languages
very-
that do the same thing.
Austrian.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
Swedish does the same thing. I don't know about Finnish, but I know the other Nordic Scandinavian languages all do the same
Oh, yeah.
thing. Finnish is its own fucking whatever the hell that language is. It's technically Scandinavian, but it doesn't sound anything or look anything like the other four.
It's the bastard cousin of it.
It's not even like related. It's a completely separate. There's no sounds that are the same at all. There's a wonderful Icelandic comic on Netflix that does a whole skit about the Scandinavian languages. It's really funny, actually.
So it's Veradotilin. Ice Cloak is her last name.
Jeez. Ice Cloak. Is she a dwarf too?
Yes, she is Dirk.
Rachel would instinctively go, cool.
And
Someone's gonna make that.
and a little pa-dum-ts in the background. Comes out of nowhere, almost like from a different floor.
Like,
Huh?
Just in the distance.
it's just like somebody thaumaturgied me, and I'm like, who did that?
All right. So
Trauma.
after that, Ame comes back. She has 4 flasks. She said that you will need to drink 1 a day at least.
Alrighty. Thank you. Nori's going to put them in her bag. Specifically not letting Paparin hold on to them because she doesn't trust him with the flasks.
Hey, you can be a functioning person on a ship. Corin cannot.
Yes, which is why I'm going to have the flasks be for Paparin. I will get some medication for me because the last medication put him to sleep. I'd rather have him be tipsy than gone.
I also was wondering, whatever happened, the one individual on our way back to the mainland gave me a seed. I just kind of like lost that at some point, or I don't know. Like it was a seed that I put in my lip and that made me tipsy.
Oh, on the boat?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like a permanent, like, you use it and it gets used.
Okay. I was just wondering. It's like that sounds like a neat thing to have when Kaporn just wants to be tipsy.
Like a little, immediately drunk dip.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. So yes, you've got the flasks. Veridotlin Ice Cloak is the Duragar woman who is the ship captain that he told you about. He said he'll tell you that he'll put word in tonight for them to expect you, and then he kind of like waits for an answer.
Yes, please.
Quite.
He furrows his brows at the two of you, and then looks to Bryn and Nori. So when should they expect you?
I think tomorrow we're gonna want to try to figure out. We can figure out what happened at the hotel or the inn.
Is this
how long
our
did it
final night?
This is our final night at the inn. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, it's going to take you about a day's travel to get to the fishing boats.
Tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow.
Rachel would sort of look actually towards Rashi and be like, "Is that off? Tomorrow?"
Well, at the verbiage between the girls of tonight being the last night, and you guys might be leaving tomorrow, Rashi is now currently being suffocated once again by a bosom, as Ame has just sucked her in and is just like, "Oh, my baby," and just.
Yeah. Well, seeing that as well, Rachel would be like trying to imply, "Do you want to spend more time here with your family?"
Yeah, Bryn would definitely pause too and be like, I think we can spend a little bit more time here. Wanted.
You just hear Rashi going as she's trying not to suffocate in her mom's chest.
Ami, would you like to have Rashi for a little bit longer?
She kind of looks to you and then looks to Bellar, and Bellar is kind of like, "Come on, woman." And she just separates Rashi at arm's length from her and kind of dramatically. "A bird must fly free." Ballar just puts his face in his hands.
You know what you're
Rachel is
getting
just-
into, Balar. You know what you're getting into.
Rachel is just nodding firmly, like, totally get it, basically.
And I agree with what she's putting down.
Constantly feel the breeze.
I guess you made a bird reference.
I shall not stand in the way of my only child. This is towards Ballar, not you guys.
We hear it though, right?
Oh yes, she's being loud.
Okay.
I will not stand in the way of my only child leaving me once again, as I am getting older and frailer.
Rachel will like look between her and Bella and just go, "Do it quietly in the bathroom or something."
Ballar kind of just, like, with his head in his hands, kind of just peeks at you through some fingers, like, the fuck?
As part as that was in Rashi's voice.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's technically Rashi's voice too.
I totally missed what you said, Rachel.
It was when you weren't here, or Val said something for you to go off. I forget what he was referring to, but he said something. Oh, it was they wanted to cast a spell. So they wanted to cast a tongue spell so that they could speak to people, and so you were like, "Well, just do it quietly in the bathroom or something." And Rachel recorded that.
And which even adds to the further eye peering between the fingers at you, Rashaw. And then even Ame kind of like furrows the brow and looks sideways while still trying to be dramatic, kind of like, the fuck did I just hear? And then realize it didn't come out of Rashi's voice. Rashi, it came out of you, which settles yet confuses her further. And Balar kind of like just stands up, goes over and puts his hands on Rashi's shoulders. You gonna be safe?
I mean, as safe as I can be.
You gonna kick some ass?
Probably.
He just nods, just follow along and say yes.
Yes, I will. She says it very forcefully, but doesn't really. It sounds a little too.
And you're gonna come home to your mother when you can?
Well, yeah, of course.
All right, and then he kind of like pats you on the shoulder and like moves you to the side and takes Ame's hands. See, she's gonna come back when she can. You gotta let her go, make her friends, do her things. Don't worry, I've already threatened the big one that if she doesn't take care of her, I'm gonna beat her ass.
Warren's like pointing to himself, like, huh?
No, the big strong one.
Oh.
Rashi looks up at Kaporan. I could kick your ass.
Mainly because
you're
it's in
two
my
people
face.
taller than me.
Yeah, she
Yes.
absolutely could. And I doubt it would be hard.
Warren like is looking like straight down at this point. He's like, okay.
Rachaw's actively behind Kaparan, like measuring his foot distance from Kaporan's butt, like
Taking like field.
I'm not sure if I could.
like field goal kicker, like steps, like, okay, maybe if I step back, three to the left. All right, aim it up.
I mean, Rashi could kick Kaporan's ass without even touching him because I have spiritual weapon. So.
Spiritual weapon, a giant ass hand, and start slapping the shit out of him.
Yeah, we'll invent Big B's crushing fist in this realm.
Just the bitch love of God.
Yeah, basically. It's
Smite
weird,
me,
like
almighty
Bella's hand.
smiter! So with that, Ame, as Valar kind of like pulls her in, she spins around and like thrusts head on chest. It's just like, oh, whatever will I do with my daughter gone? And Valar's just like, well, I guess drama queen's on the list. And she just like snaps up and just smacks his chest a little bit and puts her head back down. You were fine before, you'll be fine again. She'll be back.
I'll call and keep you updated.
Oh yes, please do. She just kind of like reaches out while still being on his chest. Fine.
What does Rashi's mom look like?
Rashi's mom? She's what, about 5'6", I think? 5'5", 5'6"?
Yeah, you said she's a couple inches taller than Rashi, and Rashi's 5'4".
Yeah. And Balar creeps up to about the 5-foot range. He's tall for a dwarf.
But,
She's the same height as Nori.
But Balar being as big as he is, she doesn't play as if she's taller than him. She always, like, whenever she's in his arms, she'll, like, actually almost fall into his arms and, like, always, like, be lower for him. Which, I mean, he's a brick house, so, like, holding her up's not a problem.
Literally.
He's just, like, he can hold her up with one palm and just be like, okay, and have an entire conversation.
Yeah, I mean, she's fully human, so...
Yeah.
I imagine she's probably in her, like, 40s. I guess.
Yeah, she's late 30s.
Because Rashi's only 20, so I was like, she probably had her when she was young.
Yeah. Waited till she was legal.
Well, that's kind of him.
But with that, it's just more kind of placating Ame for a while, and making like Rashi promise to come back as soon as she can, bring gifts, like the whole 9 yards, family going away situation. But all in
I
all,
mean,
yeah.
it is her only kid
But all in
for
all,
the time
Ame
being.
is fine with you guys departing tomorrow.
My screen froze with Rashi. Did that happen to anyone else?
Full laughter, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, unless there's anything else you guys would like to ask or say to the parents,
Kaporn actually, I just thought about this. Do they know? Kaporn would ask Baylor, does he know of the old crazy kook who stole the loot? Old crazy kook.
Wensworth.
Wentworth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, guy's a bit of a odd nut, but he's harmless.
I'll take your word for it. I wanted to buy that loot, and he ran off with it.
Well, unfortunately, he's got his own shop, but it's on the 5th disc. I got you guys down here once. I'm not gonna be able to do it again. When he runs on hard times, he pawns a few items. But when business picks back up again, which I'm guessing it's gonna pick back up with how many more Durg are here, he tends to rebuy back his items. Hence why most pawn shops sell his items for like exorbitant amounts, because they know that they can just keep on getting money from him every time he's gonna sell something. So they just keep ticking it up higher and higher every time.
What a smart business plan.
Anything else?
If Rachak could get Valar away from Ame,
Yeah.
he'd like to try to have a conversation with him.
Okay.
Heart to
Something.
beat.
Yeah, when it's just us two or something to that effect, other people in the group I wouldn't mind, except for maybe Rashi being there. Yep.
Okay.
Uh,
Rashi will be there.
he would say something to the effect of like, Rashi isn't necessarily, and then he sort of like leaves it there because he can't finish that phrase with making it would make it more confusing to leave finish that phrase.
I get what you're saying, but I hope she's not a bother to you guys.
Of course not.
Well,
No,
You're
Rashi's
done.
great.
I
He's
mean,
like,
if you take the timeline of things that you've told me, and I've also been able to find out through means of my own, and exactly what you all have been up to, since you've all gotten together and prior, I fear the outcome might not have been as favorable if she hadn't run into you guys back in Bagram. It doesn't sound like it was a very pleasant fight that happened down there. So, I feel a bit more comfortable that even though you guys seem to walk headlong into the shit, so far, at least on my end, you've all come back out of it. Minus a preppy high elf. Don't think I didn't notice that.
Whatever do you mean?
He's gonna like nod and is like, it's nice to have a traveling buddy, and then he's like, the deal's done.
Alright. And he spits on his hand and holds it out to shake yours.
He shakes his head no. He's like,
Oh, you said a deal's done!
he whispers in his ear again. He's like, Barnabas Elrith, the deal's done.
Oh, well. And he wipes his hand off. That portion's completed, yeah.
Rashi isn't necessarily.
Roshi's job, according with Barnabas, is twofold. It's not just to break the seal on Arme.
What's that?
You know those visions she had? That happened after she got the job from her mother. So, there's a different power that's driving her now.
He strokes his imaginary beard and is like, fascinating.
So, if those visions point out big fella there, points at Kaporin. You don't hear it, Kaporin. But yes, you probably do wave from across the room. The visions point towards him, then it seems like this is the place she needs to be.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
So we got a deal?
2 + 2, I figured water. And just sticks his hand out.
He spits in his hand and shakes yours.
Oh, he'll Racha not capable of spitting, I imagine, because he doesn't have
Had
lips.
to.
We'll just lick his hand. Just do it.
Improvising. I like it. Alright. So anything else? We'll go through the list. Bryn, anything?
Not with them, no.
Racha? Kaporin? Nori? Rashi? Alright. So with that, you guys stay some more time, have some fun, completely eat until bursting is a possibility.
I find the turkey and try and subtly have a panic attack a little bit.
Luckily, by the time you get to the turkey, it has been pretty picked over. So it's more of just the carcass left behind.
He doesn't question anything. He just sort of recloses the door. Is like, all right, I don't need to know anymore.
I was gonna say, is that better or worse?
It's one thing to see the carcass of a fallen brethren. It's another to smell the carcass and possibly get hungry at it.
Especially from his experience of why he has the PTSD.
Yeah, Rashi has no idea. She just knows no chicken. Apparently, things with wings. So now she knows turkey. No turkey either.
But
It's also a flavor like Racha.
But you guys say your goodbyes eventually. Belar escorts you guys back to the elevators up to the 3rd disc, says his goodbyes, gives Rashi a big hug and a big old messy kiss on top of the head. Even though you're taller, he still brings you down to his height.
Yeah, she doesn't fight that.
And before he steps on the elevator, he stops and he turns and just so you know, me and your mom, we're going to be having our wedding in 2 months. Expect you to be there.
Are they coming too? And she kind of gestures to her friends.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, 2 months. 2 months.
And he steps onto the elevator and goes back down to the 4th disc. Alright, so you guys are alone now with each other. A few Durgar still pepper the streets, but it's that intermediary time between the Durgar that are used to being up during the day and the Durgar that get active at night. It's that mean time in between the two of them. right about 9 o'clock.
Don't call after 9. Kaporin's just like, okay.
So any discussions you guys would like to have with each other right now? Shops are still open in case any shopping things need to be done. If not, the Fluffy Pegasus waits.
Rachah, being very tipsy, is seriously contemplating just playing bungee jump.
Kaporin is
I'm gonna move away from the edge.
He's
Bryn,
just like looking over at the elevator going down. He's like, I could make it.
Just Bryn picks him up and physically moves.
Yeah, he won't fight it. He'll just be fireman carried back.
just still staring over her shoulder off the edge, like, I can make it. That or Bryn is slowly starting to take out the harness.
I didn't get one, but I could use the rope.
she fashions one from the rope.
Oh yeah, I have to buy rope. Is there a shop where I can buy rope?
Yep.
Because some
I thought
butthole
you-
stole mine.
Yeah, you bought rope last session.
Bryn.
Oh, Bryn bought rope.
No, Bryn did. I had already had rope because I had already bought it 2 weeks ago, and then some butthole who stole everyone's stuff and killed 2 people stole my rope.
Yep.
Sounds
Then
like they
yes.
used it to try to get away.
So I need to buy rope.
And Kaporin's on a corner playing some nice music. He's taking off his little. Oh, I don't have a
It's
fedora.
4 trillium for rope.
Okay.
Kaporin's on the corner.
Once,
Of course he is.
Anything
once
new?
we're like in a point where everything's sort of settled, Rachah will pull out the rapier that he still has and like flips it around so it's pointing down and like goes over to Kaporin and goes to hand it to him with the handle forward, and like as soon as he goes to try and take it from me, he'll swat his hand and then go, for the love of God, don't poke it, and then just hands it over. So he now has a rapier to use.
Kaporin has 2 rapiers now.
You may have made a mistake. Because
But this rapier has a jewel on the end of it, so it's
no, it doesn't. Not
It
anymore.
doesn't have the jewel
Oh,
anymore. It just looks like
Kaporin.
it probably looks relatively better in terms of condition than yours, just because of how it was magical up until, and he hasn't used it since it was magical. But yeah, it's more or less like, and I don't need it anymore, and I know you could still use some effort.
Kaporin will keep it.
Kaporin
Yeah,
levels up
keep
and
it.
takes the dual wielding feat.
Damn, I wish I got it last session. But Kaporin would thank Rachah. It's like, oh, it's like I wasn't expecting that, but okay, thank you.
Yeah, he'll just sort of like hold up the new short sword in his scabbard and be like, I got some. And then he'll just put it back.
So that was my mom. And I'm gonna go to bed now.
Wonderful
parents are
traveling
great.
companion.
Kaporin has now became that friend that is more in touch with your parents than you are with them.
I mean,
Wait,
only
clerics get sending too.
Kaporin's gonna actively reach out to the mom. Tommy.
please don't. Please don't, and don't encourage her. Don't have her drug the Durgar.
Yeah,
Or
let's not do
Valar.
that.
I do believe
She'll
that if we
use
come
it.
back.
She'll use it for gross adult sexy times, and I don't need to know that she's doing that.
So you're
Kaporin-
just furthering Kaporin's need to do this.
Kaporin
Yes.
starts strumming away. It's like, make love tonight. Yeah,
I mean,
it's the spice of life.
I'm glad you're not technically my brother, because you're very annoying right now.
Rachah, right after she says that, goes, gross adult sexy time.
Oh no.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh,
watch
no.
your words around him. But
You have to
At
be
least
so
he knows
careful.
appropriate times to say things, kind
sure.
of.
No?
He gives you the hand gesture that you've seen multiple times now.
Everyone starts laughing. It's like, yeah, you're so right, Rushy.
Well, so far, he's. Mm-mm. I'm going to bed, and she starts walking to her room.
Toodaloo.
Sorry. And she's gone. She went to bed.
Yep.
Apparently, yeah.
She dipped.
Is there anything else anybody else would like to do before nappy nap?
Kaporin's either gonna go find a tavern to play in, or he is just gonna go pick a spot on the side of the street that looks kind of busy, and play to his heart's content until he gets tired enough.
Bryn's gonna look at Nori.
That would put you waking up a lot later than everybody else.
Are we actually okay? Kaporin would ask, "Are we actually leaving tomorrow?"
I believe so, yes.
Fine, Kaporin will play 2 songs and then go to bed.
She's gonna look at Nori. I think we should stay with him until he's done. Just hopefully soon.
He's gonna play Freebird and Through the Fire and the Flames.
Love it. Just stay with him until he's done.
Make sure he doesn't die.
Exactly.
What's that Dream Theater song that's like 27 minutes
Yeah.
long?
Plays the longest songs.
Kaporin sees Rushy, did you need a cup of water?
Are you chasing after her to ask her if she wants water?
Oh no,
No.
it's because you said I go to bed and then you cut out from the Zoom calls. We're like, oh, and she's gone.
Oh, yeah, it crashed, and I'm not sure why. It said my internet connection's unstable, and I'm like,
timing.
And-
unstable my ass.
And then you came back, so Kaporin's taking it as you came back.
Oh, yeah, no, she's definitely was just like, I'm not dealing with this, and just walked off. She is not okay with Kaporin encouraging her mom.
If the girls are staying with Kaporin, Racha would follow Rashi just to make sure she gets to the the Pegasus, fluffy Pegasus,
There you go.
safely.
The pure white fluffy Pegasus.
Well, pure, there's dead bodies there, but it is all white.
The white Pegasus. Fluffy Pegasus.
It's pure on the outside.
From the inside, it is darkness.
On the
Is
inside,
that room gonna be
everyone's
haunted?
pink. All right, so after a couple songs, and possibly the second song being dragged on and going into a third and fourth and fifth chorus, until eventually the wooden hook comes out, known as Bryn's arm, and then yank. You all eventually get to your rooms, get to sleep.
Wait, no, I have plans.
I asked if anyone wanted to do anything, and you never spoke
Go
up.
back in the thing. I had to wait.
Never wait. Just
Oh,
force
no,
your
'cause
way.
we had to
Okay,
wait
what
for
was
Kaporin.
okay? After
Had to wait for
Kaporin
Kaporin.
got pulled away.
So when we get back into the thing, Bryn is just gonna pick up Nori and bring her up to the room, and things are gonna happen.
Oh,
Caveman style.
maybe not caveman stuff. Straight by the hair, just cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo up the stairs.
Oh God, no. But I'm assuming Kaporin's in front of them. So
At first, Nori's like, "This is weird." Oh no, I don't like this anymore. I don't like this anymore.
No, I don't think Nori would
No.
appreciate the head trauma.
No.
Sudden, she's not a caster anymore because her. What?
Well, at least they don't use intelligence, because there's already not much of that to begin with.
We gotta use
True.
when she's gonna do that, so she floats along as she's pulling on there.
So you push Kaporin into his room first.
I'm assuming he's going up the stairs in front of us or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna carry her the rest of the way, kind of deal.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if Kaporin would catch that or not.
No, with his tipsiness and him being on the first floor, or technically second floor, and then you guys being all the way up higher. I'm sure you would have waited till you gone up the stairs to the next round of things before it happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so the girls will probably be up a little bit later. But
Gotcha.
that's it.
In that case, I need you both to move to Discord for me, please. You
Oh,
could, actually, we'll do it this way. It is a good place to end the session for tonight. So, I need Nori and Bryn to stay after. But for everyone, do you have any questions?
Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna leave the room now.
Kapoor?
Horn's good.
Rashi?
Oh, fuck, I forgot I was muted. Not particularly, unless Racha at some point is going to share what Valor told him about Rashi's visions that apparently may not be from her deity.
Well, he's gone, so I doubt it.
Right. So no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll see y'all Thursday.
Okay. So if you do have guys have any questions, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If I don't see you before then, well, bye. It's just you, Kapoor, left. You guys have a good week, and I'll talk to you Thursday.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. So, sometime throughout the night, as things go on, we're not going to actually roll things out or anything. But, Nori, you end up noticing something on Bryn. On her back, in the center of her back, there is... You've seen multiple tattoos of hers, and you know that there are tattoos across her back and up her arms and legs and everything. But even though you've seen this, you kind of like check yourself a little bit. Like, was this there before? Am I just a horrible girlfriend that I didn't fucking know she had this tattoo on her face? And like, you kind of like, should I say something? Should I not say something? Am I going to look like an ass, or am I going to bring up something that needs to be brought up? I'm guessing eventually, though, you're pretty confident that it wasn't there before. And you point it out, giving details on what it looks like. Bryn, it ends up being a small bundle of flowers, sort of looking like dandelions. Though most of your tattoos are black and white, usually outlined runes of sorts. Though they do glow color when, emotion is interpreted or a spell is cast or something, whatever is relegated to that specific thing of your class and your race, then it gets activated. This is really one of the only tattoos that has color already in it. It's 3 of these dandelions that all connect down to a single stem. And these flowers are upside down. So the stem goes, is pointed up, where the flower heads are down at the bottom. Just right around mid-back. And the petals are a very slight, very soft shade of blue, where the center, not dandelions, daisies. There we go, daisies is what I'm thinking of. But the center is all white. So that's what piques your interest, Nori, is you're like, wait, I've seen all her tattoos. They're mostly all black. This has color. I should say something. And so, as you say, yes, Bryn, this is new. And you don't remember getting any tattoo recently.
What the heck? What? I don't even know what to think.
In size-wise, it's about 6 inches long, from the base of the stem to the very furthest flower. So the way it looks, the stem comes down and splits into the three shoots. It's the 2 flowers up front or furthest out from you, and then a flower poking up from the back, kind of. It basically looks as if you took 3 little daisies and held them upside down and pinched them all together and held them upside down. It kind of looks like that. So it's got that depth perception kind of feel to it, kind of a 3D to a 2D piece of picture. Nori, as you are kind of... There is no mirrors in here for you to, like... Well, there is a mirror up
There's a
there.
mirror.
There's a mirror up there, but it's so far away, like, you can't use it accurately to be like, what the fuck is... And look at it. So, Nori, she's standing there as you're kind of, like, watching it and giving descriptive detail of it. And almost as if a faint breeze comes by, you see the flowers move and sway a little bit.
Do your tattoos normally move? I don't think they do.
My runes don't move, right? Right, Val? No. Definitely not.
I don't know anything about this.
After another head-to-toe search of some possible other additives that might have happened, Nori, give me a history... No, not a history check. What must be... You know what? Go ahead and give me a history check. That's fine. You think...
You ask me to do intelligent stuff. I'm not smart. Let me use wisdom.
This is to see if you can remember exactly every rune. You think maybe a couple of the runes have changed? One on her back left thigh. Only one of them on the back left thigh. And then one would be pretty much on her... So, the back right shoulder, like, basically at where the armpit goes. So you can't really... Like, you can feel it, but you can't see it. Like, it's like that angle. So Bryn can't justify whether or not it is, unless you want to sit there and, like, draw it out for her.
Well, could I draw out what I know the runes should be?
Well, yeah, you could, but there's a lot of, like, runes all over,
Yeah.
so it's probably easier for her to be like, I think these might be different, and for her to draw it out rather than you be like, okay, these are all my runes.
Yeah, I think I'll draw the ones.
So the one on your back left thigh is different. That one, I'll give pictures, but for simplicity's sake. Can you guys see that?
On Roll20?
Yeah.
No, I just see the background.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, because I have it open up on my other page. Alright. Let's see if I can figure out why. Alright, I'll just do it in this one over here. Oh, there it is. Did it pop up for you guys?
Yeah, now it did.
Okay, so that's the rune that was on your thigh. That's what it initially looked like.
That's what it was before.
That's what it was before. And now...
She would know what that one would have meant before, right?
No, this is one of the ones that you got because of Valkyric tradition. It's not so much one of your chosen ones.
Gotcha. So even if it's part of the traditional one, she wouldn't know what it is.
Some of the runes are more ancient than a lot of knowledge that gets passed down. They've got spell runes and certain things like that some individuals know exactly what it means and what it does and how it works and everything. And more so, a lot of it is kind of just passed down traditionally, and depending on which generation you talk to, they'll say it means something different. It kind of got lost in translation at some point down the line and has now become more of a whatever that person wants it to mean. So you could actually talk to a single family of individuals and all the siblings would say something means something different. It could all roughly have the same like connotation, where a rune means like strength, loyalty, divinity, purity. Like it could be a bunch of different things. It all roughly is in the same wheelhouse, but they could all say something different. So that's what your rune has turned into. And no, it's not a little man. I just saw Nori smirking over there, and I was like, yeah, oh, it's a little person.
No, I was writing something down.
The one on your back right shoulder has not changed.
Is that the only one that's changed?
As far as Nori can tell. But you can make damn sure she's starting to focus on the other ones and being like, okay, I need to remember this shit. So you'll have advantage on the next time you try to decipher any of these.
Weird mechanics, but okay.
Well, in this type of situation where you get hyper aware of something, no matter how smart or dumb you are, you tend to over focus and possibly take notes. So I would give you a much lower DC and advantage on seeing if something changed all of a sudden.
I'm very worried.
Could be good, could be bad, could be anything.
With our track record, could it be good? Are we sure? Are we sure about that? I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, neither am I.
All right. Well, any questions that I can't answer?
Can we do that second one?
I said the one on the arm didn't actually change.
No, her second roll.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
No.
Or is that next time?
It's the next time something happens, because she's like focusing now on all the runes. So if any of them had changed prior, this is what she knows now. So
That is very strange.
I guess how many runes would Bryn have besides the ones that I sent you about, like, that she picked?
altogether, Valkyrie usually comes out of all of her rituals and traditions with about 56 runes.
Okay.
Yeah, you a tatted mofo.
Yeah. Can I get what those look like and what they are, or something?
What
I'm
all
sure
the runes look like?
I want all of them. Yeah.
I will slowly get them out to you over the next couple days.
Love that. Yeah, okay.
Because I have, like, the ones you sent. I have a bunch of different
Yeah.
folders.
No, I get you. I get you.
And I told you, some are just aesthetic choices too. So, like, your mentor would have an input on a couple of the runes. Technically, whatever family house you came from would have their own runes. So, like, there's some stuff in there that you had no choice over.
Does that mean I'm gonna get a new family room?
Possibly.
Sorry. Okay. Did we ever see Bryn wants to get a journal at this point. To start writing these out.
Write it down, just like, okay, what has changed?
like a
Start
like a
going over.
dream log, but for
Yes.
rune change log.
Exactly. Just like
And
start
so the-
mapping out everything on her.
We're in version
And the daisies are the
3.1.2.
only. The daisies are the only colored ones.
Yep. Like I said, her runes do emanate color whenever she does spells or emotion. The actual black ink vibrates the color, and so you've seen color across her body through these runes before, but actually just on her normal, just completely chilling self, they're all black. Though to be fair, half the time that you end up seeing all the runes and most nobody else sees, there's some color to them. It's like a rave up in that bitch.
See, this changes everything in my mind because I didn't realize it was that many runes.
Yeah,
That's so many.
I told you. I mean, how many did I tell
You
you?
said more, but
I
I've never heard that big of a number.
I told you how many to choose,
You did.
and
you
I
did.
told you there's a lot more that you don't have a choice on.
That number, that's a big number, dude.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they don't all go on at once. That'd be fucking painful
Oh yeah,
as shit.
for sure.
Just be laying in bed for like the 3 weeks afterwards, like, no, I don't wanna. But
The one side done first.
yeah,
and then
so you
the
can
other side.
then flip you like a pancake. But yeah, no, I mean, like as you go through certain things, you get more and more runes added on, and some of the times that you get things added onto, they're just updating older runes. But as this has happened to you, there's a bit of in the back of your head that goes, well, fuck, I wish I could have changed all my runes without the pain. But yeah, so that's the only one that you guys have noticed has taken actual full-on change. Plus the whole.
Oh,
You actually know what these are. You've seen them up near Lingby before. They're
what, the runes or the daisies?
the daisies.
Okay. What are they?
I believe I know what they are off the top of my head, but I just want to double check. I believe they're called snowflowers. I just am looking to make sure. But any other questions?
Not that you can answer, apparently.
And they are snowflowers. One of the few flower-like vegetation that actually grows in the harshest of the Ixian North.
So, since the day we got here, basically that first night, and the night before this has showed up.
This would have shown up between last night and tonight.
Love that. I don't.
And I have no answers. I'm just a druid who found little things. Just like, this is weird. I don't know anything about your tattoos.
Hey, did you know that you've got something here? And we're not talking about that ass. I'm talking about that you got something on your back.
Of course. Well,
All right. Well, more mysteries to be had once again. Maybe another driving factor to get back to your mother?
Yeah, I'm trying there, bud. Okay.
I'll just tack on another question to ask.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys will swing by Artemir and just pick up Nori's mom at the same time. Just make it a whole fucking family.
Oh yeah. We should just bring Rashi's mom with us.
Just a mom thing.
Have a mom trip.
Well-
Bring Tat. You know, go find Kapoor.
Tat-Tat's getting a dress, and that should be fun.
That will be fun.
Oh yeah, we'll appreciate it.
Isn't Nori's mom a little bit crazy?
It'll add to the fun of it.
We'll see.
The silence says a lot.
Silence is silence.
Yes, but silence is meaning. Okay.
Alrighty, guys. Well, if you have any other questions, feel free to message me, and I'll answer what I can when I can. But you guys have a great week, and I'll see you Thursday.
Right. Night.
Night, everybody.
Night.
Thank you all for those that stayed with us. You have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Thursday. Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, "I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett."
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.